There's nothing more dangerous in war than the element of surprise. And on the morning of June 6, 1944, when the Allied forces appeared over the horizon in Normandy, the Nazis had no idea it was coming. They were ready for battle, just not here. According to German intelligence, the invasion was supposed to happen 150 miles away, at Calais. So while Hitler's troops stood guard over an empty beach, the Allies stormed Normandy, launching the largest seaborne invasion in history, turning the tide of World War II. But what's rarely told is why the Germans were fooled so completely. Because their entire defense strategy, their troop movements, their maps, their expectations, had all been shaped by one man. A man who didn't carry a gun, didn't work for any government, and didn't even have spy training. Just imagination, guts, and a typewriter. This is the unbelievable true story of Juan Pujol García, the chicken farmer from Barcelona who single-handedly trolled the Nazis into losing the war. So how did he actually do it? Before World War II, Spain was torn apart by its own civil war. Pujol lost everything, his farm, his freedom, and his family's safety. Forced to fight, he came to despise the brutality of both sides. So when Hitler began his conquest of Europe, Pujol decided he'd do something, anything, to stop it. He went to the British embassy in Madrid, offering to spy on the Nazis. They laughed him off. No experience, no training, not interested. So Pujol did the unthinkable. He went to the German embassy instead, pretending to be a devoted Nazi who wanted to spy on Britain. And the Germans fell for it. They gave him a code book, invisible ink, and $3,000 in cash, telling him to move to London and start sending intelligence. Instead, he moved to Lisbon, Portugal, and started pretending to be in London, writing detailed reports entirely from a tourist map and a British guidebook. Pujol's letters were filled with convincing details, reports of warships leaving ports, soldiers training in the countryside, and even his own everyday life in London, walks, colds, and cafe visits. To make it believable, he invented an entire network of sub-agents across Britain, a Swiss businessman, a Venezuelan student, a Welsh laborer, all completely fictional. If something didn't add up, he'd simply blame one of his agents. And the Germans loved it. They were so impressed, they sent him a monthly paycheck, about $11,000 in today's money, to fund his fake spy network. But then, something incredible happened. By pure luck, one of his made-up reports about ships leaving Liverpool coincided with an actual fleet movement. The Germans thought he was a genius. Meanwhile, British intelligence intercepted his messages, and realized this mystery German spy was actually helping them. When MI5 finally tracked him down, they didn't arrest him, they recruited him. His new code name, Garbo, after the actress Greta Garbo, because he was the greatest actor in the world. Now all he needed to do was trick Hitler. Garbo's first major test came with the Allied invasion of North Africa. He planted rumors suggesting the attack would hit Norway instead. He wrote of Canadian troops training in Scotland and Russian forces pushing west, just enough for Hitler to panic. The result? Hitler moved hundreds of thousands of troops to defend Norway, while the Allies invaded North Africa without resistance. Garbo then sent a message describing the invasion in perfect detail, but mailed it too late. By the time it reached Germany, the attack had already begun. The Nazis called it a magnificent report. They didn't realize they were being played. By 1944, Garbo had built a fake network of 27 agents and convinced the Germans they were Britain's top spies. For D-Day, he crafted his greatest illusion yet. He told the Nazis that the Allies were preparing to invade at Calais, not Normandy. Britain backed him up with an Oscar-worthy performance. Fake airfields, inflatable tanks, wooden planes, even photographs of King George visiting a fake army. The deception worked so well that Hitler himself believed Garbo's reports. Intercepted messages show the Nazis shifted hundreds of thousands of troops to Calais, leaving Normandy wide open. Even after the Allied landings began, Hitler refused to redeploy his forces. He believed Normandy was a distraction, waiting for the real invasion that never came. Garbo's lies saved countless lives and helped secure the success of D-Day. When it was over, Hitler was so impressed by Garbo's loyalty that he awarded him the Iron Cross. At the same time, Britain gave him an OBE, the Order of the British Empire. He became the only person in history to receive war medals from both sides of the same war. After the war, Garbo faked his death and vanished to Venezuela, where he lived quietly for decades. His story might have ended there, if not for a British writer who tracked him down 40 years later. When Garbo returned to Normandy, standing on the beaches his deception had saved, he finally realized the scale of what he'd done. A man with no training, no army, and no weapon had outsmarted Hitler himself. The greatest spy of World War II wasn't a soldier. He was a storyteller,